Young people today are faced with many difficult challenges. There are many issues that impact on the community, the family, and of course the individual. Today, many of our people live in dysfunctional, impoverished communities that perpetuate this situation from generation to generation. We must help our young people get off this treadmill through realizing their potential and increasing their self-esteem.
And it sure feels a lot like ice.
There's blue, the dark blue on the outside, that represents all of creation, everything that the Creator made. And the light blue represents how we're all interconnected with each other and with everything else in creation. This red part represents, well, that's the road we're traveling today. That's the red road, we call it, and it's all broken up. And that's why our communities are dysfunctional. And the purple represents the family unit. And the yellow represents the healing that's occurring in our communities. The green represents the youth. And the youth are being bombarded by a lot of negativity. The white, that's how we all start off, pure, clean, and that sort of thing. And if you're looking at the like from the top, it's like a teepee, and this is a teepee view from the top, and there's a whole bunch of teachings in the teepee also. So there's an entire curriculum involved in here. If you don't know where you've been, you don't know how you got here. So if you know the history of the complete history of what happened in this country, we have a better understanding of how come we're in the situation we are in today. And we're not the only ones suffering from that. The white people, non-Aboriginal people, because they are not taught the complete history also, are ignorant to the fact that about what the treaties are all about. They continue to think that we get education free, medicine free, and everything else. So because they're not taught the history. So history is very important. And this program, coordinated by the Justice Unit of the Prince Albert Grand Council, has been designed to build the individual's self-esteem and self-identity.
Check one.
You got bachelor's.
Check two. Check.
You're really wide.
Part of this program was to create a film crew to document the progress of the log home building program on the Montreal Lake and Little Red River First Nation. Our crew consisted of Daryl, the camera operator, David, who did the sound recording, Brad was the grip, and Jordan did the interviewing. Throughout the winter, the log home building crew has been hard at work.
I grew up in the wilderness and we had to live in a log house, so at 9 years old I was already building log houses with the old man that raised me out in the bush, and on the years I helped out here, and then I knew how to build log houses by the age of 13, 14, and by 16 I was already helping others build log houses, and I really wanted to get my certificate in log home building, so I went forward in getting it on my own. So it's pretty good for me that I can be able to teach other youth what I know, how I've learned, and that's how I want to teach them, is how I learned, not by books or anything. Yeah, this is handcraft. It's a log. There's no straight lines to it, but you gotta have a straight conscience in how you build everything. I guess that's art to me. Art, handcraft log home is art.
Good? Good. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go!
I was a holistic model trainer before the log home build, so I know holistically how to work with the youth in building themselves up, in learning working skills. That's why I use the log home build as a working skill for the youth. There are some good students that students here that work good. Some of them, they have potential. All the youth, we have to try and work that out with them so they'll understand the process and what takes place in the real world today. And to my perception, when I work with these youth, I can see every day they change every day. They come to work and they have a different attitude towards working and the log home build itself. I think it's very positive. They have potential in wanting to learn.
Ready? Go!
Take me home.
What changes did you see over this time span of this program?
What changes do I see?
Happening with like the group and whatnot.
Within the group
Yeah.
and what we're doing right now? It's been all good right now as we're really progressing. We want to get this finished with. It's so far it's been just a few of us, but only the strong survived, and I guess we're meant to be here. But what we're planning on doing is finishing this off and improving on what we're doing right now. We like what we're doing. We love what we're doing right now. There's no such thing as failure within us, within this group right now. Yeah, we're sharing a lot of things, and it's actually it's a good opportunity to have something like this. There's not much people that can go through this, and what we're doing is beyond our expectations. This is more than what we looked forward to, and this is looking good right now. So I think that we're going to be pretty much finishing all this and moving on. We're going to be continuing what we're doing, and we're not gonna give up. We're not giving up on this. There's no chance, no time.
How was it before for the youth?
Well, there was not a lot happening for the youth within the community. You look at the situations Montreal Lake is faced with the high drug use and so on. I think you had a lot of difficulties that the youth are facing. And part of that is because they had really nothing to do.
How is it now, you think, for the youth since they've started this program?
Well, just speaking with the youth that are involved within the project, I think there's a lot of self-esteem, self-worth that has been built into the youth. The youth are now starting to take ownership of the situations that they are living in. When you have a situation where people are involved in building something, when you have youth that are being part of development within the community, certainly there has to be positive effects.
The log home under construction at Little Red is part of the same program.
How did the youth log home idea get started?
Well, we met with youth in the city, mostly urban youth, and had a number of meetings with the young people there, about a series of 6 or 7 meetings. And they were telling us that they needed a place of their own, a place where they could be safe. They wanted a place where they could meet with elders, and someplace where they could access their culture and language and history, things that they didn't really get from their families or through the school system. And so after the initial gatherings, we went back and suggested that, how'd you guys like to build a log home? Is that something you'd want to be involved in? And we had a great response. We had something like 120 names signed up on a paper saying they'd like to do that. So it came from the youth.
The Montreal Lake First Nation has a youth chief and council. They will be the recipients of the new log building. Amanda Bird is a member of the youth council.
How do you think this youth project benefit the youth?
When we did our interviews, we selected the high-risk youth through the program that was set up through the Justice.
Did you see a lot of improvement?
Well, we got some feedback from the families that were, like the workers that were working here, and the families said that there was a major change at home when they first started, things settled down.
The youth receive counseling and support in addition to their work-related training. Wanda Bird is the work coach for the Little Red Project.
Have you noticed with the youth, have any of them changed?
Yeah, a lot of them changed. When we first selected them, they were all had all different attitudes, I guess, towards the program, and a lot of them are maturing with this because they're getting that experience of being able to work, and they're learning how it is, I guess, in the real world, learning how to get up early in the morning, go to work, finding babysitters, and with their jobs, and when they get paid, they learn how to spend their money. I've been teaching them that too.
Have you, as the coach, kept them focused on what the log home build is about? Or if they stray, have you tried to keep them more focused on it?
Yeah, I've been trying to, like every day I'm here checking up on them, and I even after hours I check on them, and a lot of them have lots of questions about the log house and what it's going to be used for, and so I try and keep them here, and then I talk to them all the time about the log house and what it means for them, and how much pride they're going to have when the log home is completed.
The project was geared to what's called high-risk youth. So young people who are already engaged in the criminal justice system, or who are really at risk of becoming involved in the criminal justice system. They already have a number of issues that they're dealing with. And so a major challenge has been to lend them enough support that they could fulfill their goal of participating in a log home project on a regular basis and acquiring some work experience and acquiring some skills that they can market outside their own community.
How does it feel being the only female in the whole male group here?
The only female? It's kind of tough. It's kind of tough being the only female. Actually, I feel good about it, to be honest, because I've wanted other girls in. I wanted to get at least 1 or 2 more girls in with me, but we were already to the point where we're more than halfway done. Being with these boys every day is a tough thing to go through. They enjoy picking on me. But I don't know, it's fun. I find it fun. It's a good feeling, being the only girl building a log home. I got 12 other slackers working. It built my self-esteem. I feel stronger about myself. I found myself to be getting up earlier more than I used to. Found myself to be away from my kids, but it's good to go home to them after a day's work.
Have you seen a lot of changes in the community because of the build when it started?
At first they weren't really too paying attention to us, but as it started being built, people started noticing, coming over. They'd come over and congratulate us, tell us how we're doing a good job and everything. So it's little things like that push us a little harder.
Do you see yourself back then, as of now, being more responsible?
Now, yes, really more responsible. Yeah, really. Wake up early every morning now. I'm getting there on my coffee breaks and everything, and being on time after my coffee breaks. It's like recess, coffee breaks. Except I'm showing up on time this time. I can't really horse around. This is a work site too, so you gotta take it seriously. Somebody will get hurt, and you don't want that, right? You work with these workers. You need them.
I want to continue working with the youth in that process, and that's what I like doing. is to be able to help our people get on ahead in life, and especially in today's society, we have to start looking into our youth and putting them in a better trail than they are now today.
Both our log home projects, we have two projects, one at Montreal Lake, one at Little Red, and our video crew have all faced personal challenges with family and life experiences that come up, that you have to deal with deaths or losses in your family, or tragedies that happen at home, and it's a real challenge to deal with those, but at the same time not let your team down and come back to the work environment and fulfill your obligations.
Wilson Ballantyne is an elder who has watched the young people build the log home, and he is impressed with their work.
And I'm happy that to see these young men taking a training like this. Maybe later in the future they'll have a job, or somebody will come along and ask them to build me a log house. I want you to build a log house for me. I'm hoping these young people that they'll have a good future. This is a youth lodge that they're building. It's for themselves. And I guess someday I'll be coming in here and sit down with them with a peace pipe, and when they have the grand opening. And I'm very glad that I see these young people trying so hard. It's a big change since they started working. 2 years ago, last year, you should see our CMP come over here, 4 or 5 cars sometimes at night.
All at the same time.
And I'm proud of them, these young people. They're trying hard to help themselves.
3, go, there.
I think some of the crime activities in our communities have gone down. Like, with this program, a lot of the kids that we have in the youth in this program are young adolescents. Some are in a family situation already, being young parents, not necessarily having an education background, but trying to develop some kind of a life skills component, which is what this program brings to our youth. Knowing there's responsibility as being part of that, meaning you get up in the morning, you come to work, you have a supervisor that you're accountable to, you have peers that you interact with and you have to get along with to make this project work. So those are some of the life skills components that we're trying to bring into it. When payday comes around, if you're an owner of a household, rent has to be paid, the energy, the phone bill has to be paid, food has to be put on the table before you get into some of the other wants or wishes that you have as an individual. And I guess the other thing is children come first as part of that.
When you're building a nation, you got to start with the youth. I think we have a lot of experience, we have a lot of wealth of information from our elders. But unfortunately, we have left the youth out of the picture in most of the decisions that have been made for the band over the years. We need to look at how do we build the youth? How do we give them the tools that they need to succeed in life? And if this is one project that helps us to do that, then I think it's a great project. The message was very clear from our members that the youth were being left out. They were lost in the system. They were getting into all sorts of trouble. Things were not going good. And things are starting to improve a little bit. We haven't gone all the way there yet, but we'll get there. And this community is going to be better off in the long term when our youth are able to look after their own needs, when they're able to manage their own lives, when they're able to manage their own actions. And by giving back to the community, this is one way in which they do that.
My plan is to go back to school, finish it all. Everything, even university.
Nice shots and nice sound.
This has really been a learning experience. I came into this as a newbie, so I didn't really know nothing. While being pushed to ask, being the interviewer, I kind of built more confidence. I was kind of reluctant to do it because didn't want to be in a spotlight and talking all the time. But yeah, it made me grow in confidence-wise. I learned a few things. Learned how to dig for information.
Because I like this camera thing, I never knew there's so much to it. Definitely got me off guard. But I've learned how to use it and what to look out for and how to think when you're behind the camera. You get different angles, different shots, and just basically everything that goes into it.
I never did this kind of job before. Very good. I like it. Just learning off what I do. Sound operator. It's pretty easy. Just stand there. Listen. It's easy.
My plans is to go back to school, finish it all. Everything, even university. I want to become an engineer. So that's my main plan.
In building a nation, we have to build the youth because our youth are our future. So I think the youth have to make a movement. They have to get together and start understanding all this stuff so that they can start taking on the leadership role of changing our people, changing our communities, and uniting our people right across the territory, right across the country.
Young First Nations men and women can be very effective, can be successful, and can, with their own initiative, achieve, an awesome goal.
I want to feel proud. I want to feel happy. Once this is done, it will be there forever, and I'll have my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren see it, and I can actually say I built it.
And it sure don't feel so nice. I was stranded in paradise. I was stranded in paradise. And it sure feels a lot like